Hey guys, it's Anna. Welcome to my channel. For this first video that I've ever made, I'm going to be doing a bullet journal plan with me, starting my 2019 bullet journal. This is kind of all new to me, so I'm going to be putting this up around the time of the new year, and then I'm a little late on my January one, so I'll put that up in about a week, even though January will have already started. It's just a way that I share my art and do what I like to do, and I like to be able to share it and show what I do to keep myself organized and also keep myself in a habit of drawing and of keeping myself happy even though times are stressful at school and with sports and everything. So thank you all for watching, and let's get started.
So this journal that I got is from Walmart. It was a $6 buy. I didn't have a new bullet journal and I didn't have time to go buy a new one. So I just decided I'd get this, and there were 3 colors when I went to go pick it. I can find the link if any of you all actually care about it. I picked this light pink one instead of a navy and I think a teal one when I was there. But it came with just dot pages. It's just a dot grid. For the first page, I just decided to put in like a "this belongs to" because it didn't have anything but just plain pages, and I wanted to kind of put something in there just in case like I did lose it, and if someone was nice enough to return it, they can give it back to me, like if I'm at school or anything. But the next 2 pages I actually did, the ideas came from someone else, but I kind of just put my own twist on it. I just kind of did in straight lettering, hello, and then I wrote 2019. I actually saw the way to do the 2019 on Pinterest. I really kind of thought it was cool. I just did bold lettering and cursive in between it because, as you can tell throughout the rest of this video, I love doing cursive, and I will honestly pick cursive over any other lettering. But yeah, so I just go and I color it in and I fill it in. But the rest of the spread isn't very colorful. It doesn't really have a theme except for just I use the same 4 colors every time. Well, 5 if you include black. I didn't really want to do a new theme for my beginning of the year layout because I didn't really think there would be a point to it because of how small it is and how it's just kind of like the basic things for the new year. So I just kind of left it at the basics. To kind of add a little bit of touch to add a little bit of artistic touch to my front page, I just drew kind of like a firework because fireworks are something that this country does for New Year's, and I just kind of took some Crayola markers and just picked a light blue and a teal color and outlined it and went on with that. The next page was again not something that I came up with, but it's a 2019 at a glance. So the entire page is every month and the date for the month. And this honestly was one of the hardest things I've ever done because it's very mindless. And because it's very mindless, it's very easy to get off track when writing your numbers. So I go through and write down, I'm looking off my phone, but I'm writing down every day of the month for every month of 2019. And yeah, it's just takes a while. I was most definitely watching Grey's Anatomy while I did this because it takes so long to do. You can tell that I covered the days in pink. And there's me checking to make sure my marker didn't go through onto the page. But for this next page, I decided to do a quote that kind of like encompasses my what I wanted to do in my the mindset I want to have for my new year. So It's a C.S. Lewis quote, and as you can tell, I really do like doing cursive, so of course I did the whole thing in cursive, and I just kind of wanted to take up the whole page. And like I said, I didn't really have a theme, so I did it literally the entire page, except for a little border you see in pink here in a second. But I didn't really want to like everyone says like new year, new me, and I don't want to forget anything that I've done that's led me to where I am now, but I do know that there are better things in store for me, and better events and better plans that I have for myself that are more exciting and will be more helpful for me. And there are a lot of goals I want to achieve, and a lot of things I want to change from school and from my sports teams, from my lacrosse team, and just there are things that I wish I had done differently, but I'm gonna focus on just changing them in the future. But as you can see, I had a skinnier marker, and I'm going back over with a thicker marker. If you're interested in knowing what supplies I use, I can totally do something about that. But again, this was just a C.S. Lewis quote that I decided to, and I go and border it in just a pink Crayola washable marker to kind of give it a little bit of color in that page. For the next page, I decided to do a bunch of goals that I wanted to keep track and be able to go back and cross out. So here I am with my cursive again, and I had to go back and do it. So I titled it Goals for the Year, and in each box I have 8 different boxes, and in each box is a different category. So like the first one is personal, the next one is lacrosse, so I can write down everything that like personally with my character and my mindset that I want to achieve this year. Lacrosse, starting a new college season is a little intimidating in my opinion, so I want to write down goals I have for myself, like getting a goal or getting a certain amount of assists. And then I have my fitness goals, and so we work out a lot, and there are places I want to be with myself. There are my finance goals. I did a terrible job of saving money this first semester, so I want to do better next semester and find a job on campus. I wanted to add a little bit of color like I did the other pages, so I just took the same pink marker and put a little drop shadow behind it in the pink marker. As you can see, my other 4 that I did one on future career, how I want to get to med school. I did one on relationship, how I am with my boyfriend and with my friends and with my families. I did one for my art, and I did one for next year right now, and how I want to be next at the end of 2019. And I just highlighted those in a light pink marker. And the next 4 pages are, again, kind of tedious in a way that I have to write down every month. And every day in that month again, but this one is a little bit more fun. I again added my cursive back into it because I can't go anywhere without it, and it's what I love to do, so I just have to incorporate it in every page. But each page has 3 months on it, so I had it with each month, and then I went through and added every single day and month. I do my weeks starting with Monday and ending with Sunday, because that's how I normally think of my weeks, especially at school. I begin everything on a Monday, and then everything ends on a Sunday for me, because I have things like study table where my hours start on a Monday and end on a Sunday, and a lot of my homework is due on Sundays or something, so I just like having that as my end date, and it's just easier for me to track. So on all my calendars you will see that they start with a Monday and end with a Sunday. fun fact, when writing these numbers, I actually started going over on one of mine, so instead of stopping at, I think it was 30, I went to 32, and there are obviously not 32 days in any of our months. But for each one of these months, I went and made a box, and I kind of wrote without thinking about it being on the screen. But each box is for important dates where I can highlight them above in the numbers, and then I can match it with things below. And so I did it through the entire year. And again, just like the previous pages, I did a little drop shadow with the pink because I didn't want to add too much color. I thought the pink was really cute for this. Just like the other one, I highlighted my headings with my days in the light pink color just so I could distinguish those from the numbers. And if you can tell, I kind of made a mess up in the December line, and I don't have whiteouts, so I ignore that. But the next thing I have is a things to remember page, and I didn't really set any like blocks when writing this because I didn't really want to like limit myself. I just kind of did a little decorative border with black and pink lines over it, but it's just a pretty much a blank page, so I could write anything I wanted on it, anything in like I could write anything I wanted. I could write it in a certain way. I could paste pictures if I really wanted to. I just have this open page to write my things to remember of 2019, so next year when I look back on it, I can remember all the fun and cool things that I did during the year. So on the next page is my last page for my opening setup, and this is my schedule. And this one was also kind of tedious because I had to write a bunch of different little numbers over and over again to mimic my hour-long days. So I wrote down my schedule for the spring semester because obviously my classes change every semester, and so I made 5 boxes to represent the Monday through Friday. And I'm obviously not going to show my schedule, so I don't actually fill anything in, and I didn't film it coloring it because I didn't really add much color to it either. But in each box I made 15 spaces, so it goes from 6 a.m. to 8 p.m. at night. And I will write down the numbers, but I pretty much later go back in and highlight, like color code my classes, and then all my lacrosse sport like activities, all my practices and all my workouts are in orange because our school colors are orange. And so pretty much I go in, and let's say I had a class at 1 o'clock but it lasted till 3, I would highlight the colors or the numbers 1 and 2 of whatever days that is, because if it lasted till 3 it obviously wouldn't go past 3, so 1 and 2 would be a 2-hour block. So that's kind of how I ended my schedule page. And so this is my flip through of my final project. I really enjoyed making it. I really like how simple it is, and I like the color combo that I did, and I'm really excited to continue on with it this year.
If you watched till now, you've seen how I've set up my bullet journal. I'm really excited to use this next semester. I love keeping myself organized, and I love taking notes, and I love writing out things like that, so keeping my schedule, the way I set up my schedule is really helpful for me, and having things to look back on, like my goals, and write down like big events for the month without losing them in calendar dates is really nice for me. That's pretty much it for this video, so I will see you all next time.